Good evening, Busy Bees. It is Friday, December 12th. Here's your evening news rundown in under 5 minutes. So, newly released photographs from Jeffrey Epstein's estate have renewed scrutiny of his properties, possessions, and people in his social network. The images reportedly show interior spaces, artwork, and materials that investigators and public have long sought to examine more closely. The release comes amid court-ordered disclosures tied to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, keeping the pressure on authorities to reveal full scope of the traffickers' network. Also, there's calls for a third party to investigate, what's going to be released and what is to be released to make sure it hasn't been tampered with. So here is Donald Trump in one of these photos with 7 young women whose faces have been redacted. Here's another photo of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. I'm glad they didn't have a close friendship, and he doesn't like that guy. Here's good old Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, if he's guilty, he should be thrown under the bus. We see that he's still embarrassing Hillary. And isn't this a wonderful effing person? Woody Allen, who married his stepdaughter. And yeah, what? Here's one more for good measure. Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein. What was their relationship? Pretty interesting. Yeah, so it's just a small cache of photos. There's 95,000 graphs that are attached to Jeffrey's emails that are yet to be released. Congress is still working on them. The U.S. Mint to place Donald Trump on a $1 coin. So the U.S. Mint has announced plans to issue a $1 coin featuring a current president, Donald Trump. I almost said former president. I'm, hoping, wishing, and praying. Marking a rare move that has immediately sparked political and legal debate because, these things are not normally honored with current sitting presidents. I wonder if he had something to do with that. So they're going to place him on the $1 coin. What you won't see is diversity. There won't be any women of color. There won't be any abolitionists. There won't be anyone but old white men. The New York Times is reporting that the Transportation Security Administration, or the TSA, is actively sharing domestic travel data with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That's right, they're giving your information to ICE. So even if you have legal status here but are not a citizen, I would be very careful. Because they're just not deporting criminals like they say. They're going after anyone, especially people of color, no matter if you're doing it the right way. Be cautious, as these agencies seem to not care about privacy. NPR reports that the Department of Justice has filed lawsuits against 18 states seeking access to detailed voter registration. Why? Because they're trying to take your vote. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't be going after it. It's time to wake up and saying, well, it doesn't matter if I don't vote. It does matter. It does matter. They wouldn't be actively trying to take it from you if it didn't matter. The administration claims the data is necessary to enforce federal voting and civil rights laws, which they're trying to get rid of. They don't believe in civil rights. Look at what's happening with the Supreme Court. They're trying to tamper with things. You see how they're losing elections in the midterms because Elon Musk is not there to fix it. Legal experts say the cases could become a major test of federal versus state power over elections, potentially reaching the Supreme Court. That's right, because it stays with the states. States enact and enforce voting rights, not the federal government. And in a complete waste of time, Senator Marco Rubio publicly criticized the State Department for mandating Times New Roman as the standard font of officials. Rubio dismissed the change as bureaucratic mismanagement. Why are we discussing fonts? Write the damn thing. Do the damn work. This is your evening news rundown. Stay smart, stay safe, stay informed. Like, share, and follow if you can.